Northwest Liberty News, picking the lock on the shackles of tyranny.
Hi, this is James White from Northwest Liberty News and the Liberty Brothers radio show. And joining me on the line is Rick. Rick is a resident of the Flathead Valley. And for those of you who have listened to the broadcast previously, may recognize Rick as the person who called and gave this news program the information about the DHS vehicles. And probably some 1 week later, one of the viewers here of the news program sent over video, which I did also publish, which sort of vindicated Rick in a way, because people were questioning if what he was saying was true. But Rick is an established, bona fide source of mine, and I trust what Rick has to say. And he contacted me earlier, and by the nature of Rick's work, he's had the occasion to build relationships with some people in Washington. Some of those people are still in Washington that have levels that in which they can receive information, perhaps that people, regular folk, can't receive. And Rick has been in contact with one of those people, and they relayed some pretty disturbing news to Rick, and he in turn called me, and I knew right away I had to get Rick on the air to talk about the issue that we discussed earlier. So, with that really long-winded introduction, Rick, thanks so much for joining us tonight on the Liberty Brothers and Northwest Liberty News.
Well, you're welcome, Jim. Glad to be here.
Okay, Rick. Now, if you could, you have some pretty high-level sources, and an event occurred, and I want to say it's in Maryland, and they contacted you and told you what was going on. So start from there if you can. Start from the beginning in your own words. The call you got from your friend, and then take it from there.
That's Roger. Had occasion to a contact of mine called me. He's been a lifelong trusted contact of mine. And he's been in the D.C. area working through high-level positions in and about through all the different ABC agencies and stuff up through there for almost 35 years now. And he had occasion 3 days ago to be at the Montgomery County Correctional Facility in Clarksburg, Maryland. He arrived there. The place was under total lockdown. Security all around provided by the Secret Service. The Secret Service had the whole place locked down, and he had occasion to be inside on that day. And when he was there, he found out that Eric Holder was there at the same time, and they had moved the biggest majority of the correctional facility's population into a huge auditorium there, and so he, still having, friends within the Secret Service, he stood in and listened to what he had to say. And what was going on, what it came down to is Eric Holder said that, well, let me tell you about the people that were in this auditorium. Most of the population there was MS-13 and Sinaloa Cartel drug dealers and stuff like that, in that particular facility. And Eric Holder, what it came down to, he was there, and he came and told them that the United States had committed a racially motivated social wrong against these people, and they were going to correct that social wrong by releasing them within the next 3 weeks to a month or so all over the United States and that correctional facility too. But usually you wouldn't think, they would send the attorney general to a correctional facility like that to make an announcement like that, secret and away from out of the public eye. And I just think they want them to know who is responsible for their release and to whom their loyalties will lie in the future.
All right, Rick. Let me get this straight. Let me recap this here for a moment. So what you're telling me is this correctional facility in Maryland, what was the name of it again?
It was the Montgomery County Correctional Facility, Clarksburg, Maryland.
Okay, so the Montgomery County Correction Facility Your contact went there, I imagine, on probably some sort of a business or some sort of official business,
Yes,
let's say. So he
that's
goes
right.
there, and the facility is in virtual lockdown because Eric Holder is there with his entourage and Secret Service and whatnot because he's speaking at the facility. And from what I'm also understanding, who he's speaking to is MS-13 drug gang members and Sinaloa Cartel members filled into an auditorium um, located on the correction facility. So far, so good?
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Now, your contact, this isn't hearsay, your contact was inside the facility and heard the words that you said. He heard Eric Holder say those words out of his own mouth. Is that also accurate?
That's absolutely correct.
Okay. So Eric Holder says to this collection of criminals who are presently incarcerated, he says to them, the United States has committed a grave injustice against you, and we are going to correct that injustice, and you all will be released into the general population amongst all of us, you, me, our family, our friends. Within the next 2 to 3 weeks, they're going to be released, basically open up the jail doors and let them all out regardless of their crimes. Is that also accurate?
That's what he told them. Sounds far-fetched, doesn't it?
Well, you know, it does. It does sound a little far-fetched. It sounds, you know, you hear Obama saying that he's going to make an executive order that's going to make everything right. I don't know what terms he used, but you know, Rick, this just further, I think, further solidifies my thoughts that they really are trying to. There really is. This is their coup de grace to destroy this nation, I'm afraid. Anything else you can tell us, Rick, about what your contact told you that I've perhaps left out?
Well, one thing you have to think about, this isn't the first time this has happened. They've released these guys from other facilities all over the country. You know, just turn them loose. And the thing was, they said, you know, they didn't have the money or the resources to keep them in prison, and they've turned them loose already all over the country. And yeah, there is some more going along with it. They threw some back channel lines, and this isn't solid information, but I've heard this. Is that you know, the biggest majority of drugs and stuff in this country is brought in and guarded by some parts of our military and the CIA and those different organizations like that, and that the CIA and the DEA is definitely in bed with the Sinaloa Cartel. You know, they use those guys to knock out the other drug dealers and have a single source supplying the drugs to the United States out of South America and from the Middle East and Southeast Asia. And what these so-called kids coming across the border, there are some children coming across the border, but some of these so-called kids between 12 and 22 years old, MS-13 types, these guys are nothing but paid assassins for the Sinaloa Cartel. And what I've heard is that these guys are going to commit targeted assassinations at the behest of the Sinaloa Cartel through information that have been given them from the CIA, and that's what I heard. Now you can take that or leave it, but that's with what's been going on in this country. That's not beyond the scope of what could happen.
Again, Rick, let's recap here. What you're saying is, and you know, I want to clarify something here to the listening audience. I know Rick. Rick is not the kind of guy that spreads around false information. Not the kind of guy that would try to say things to benefit himself. I mean, Rick is of course not compensated for the information that he gives me. Rick is just a patriotic American who wants to see this country restored back to the way it should be. So when Rick comes up with this information, I vouch for Rick. He's solid, and you know, Rick, I know this information you just said about the kids coming through, and this isn't the first time I've heard something similar to this. So what you're saying is these, under the guise of the children, are helping the underprivileged kids who are fleeing terrible conditions in their own country. They're allowing them to come into this country, and what you're saying is they are sort of a sleeper cell type of, I guess, for lack of better terms, with these youngsters coming in to be assassins for the cartel. That's the information that you're getting.
That's right. There are assassins, and there have been some caught in the past here as young as 12 and 13 in jail in Texas. You know, that they have talked to, and it has been documented they were assassins. They, you know, one kid, I think he was like 13 years old, killed 164 people. So, you know, you can just look that up.
Well, chilling to say the least, Rick. Chilling to say the least. You know, I don't know what to make of it all. I believe that you are telling me the truth, and that the people that telling you these things believe they're telling the truth. I mean, if your contact was actually in the room and heard these things, it's kind of hard to dispute that. Rick, anything else that you want to say or add before we end this phone call?
No, nothing really. It's just that, you know, just time will tell. You know, see what happens. You know, that's the stories these days just keep getting more incredible, and you don't believe it can happen, but it does.
Indeed, you're correct, my friend. It seems as though things are accelerating, you know, at an exponential level here on a day-to-day basis. And but you know, we need to stand strong. We need to understand that you know, it's not really, you know, the duties are ours and results are God's. We're just supposed to do the work, stand up for liberty. God will work the rest out, man. That's how I look at it. So that's all I'm trying to do. And I know, Rick, you probably feel the same way.
That's exactly the way I feel. As pray, you know, and I know I went after this on a hat thing for God's protection. So, you know, I thank God every day.
All right, Rick. I really appreciate you, man. I appreciate you bird dogging things and keeping your nose to the ground, and always having a watchful eye for liberty, man. Thanks so much, Rick. I appreciate, you know, you being a source for me, and you know, stay safe, and you know, keep it coming, man. If you got some more things.
All right, talk to you later, James.
All right, take care, Rick. Bye now.